Hello and welcome back to the Old Man Sailing YouTube channel for another tour of my Rival 32 Samsara. This is because my son Hugo has come to join me. We are now in the wonderful Tobago Keys and lobster on the beach last night. So a few things that have happened since the last tour. First thing is the anchor. I used to have a Rockner. Trouble with the Rockner is it was enormous, and two things happened. One is that it was virtually impossible to get it back on deck through the pull pit, and also when the boat went crashing into a big sea, one occasion it got shunted backwards and absolutely jammed in the bow roller and against the windlass, and it took me forever to get it loose. Bad idea. Also, I saw a video of a Rockner not resetting on a sudden and violent wind shift. I didn't like the idea of that, so I did a test and I found the same thing happened with me. So what I've got now is a spade. It's physically smaller and it resets very nicely. Next thing, if you look down at what used to be my beautiful tow rail, it's not beautiful anymore. I had a fabulous teak tow rail, which cost a fortune, of course. The trouble was that it was screwed down every 25 centimeters all the way down both sides of the boat. And that means there were heaven knows how many screw holes. And I reckon that was where the leak was coming from. I'm not entirely sure I was right about it, but we've now taken the tow rail off. Sealed it with epoxy, painted it, and not quite so beautiful, but I hope more practical. Take a look at this. This is what I call the boom brace. It's secured on both sides, and when I take this mainsail down, I secure it like this, and the boom cannot move, because when you're standing on the coach roof trying to put the sail ties on, if the boom is swinging backwards and forwards, it's very disconcerting, and it gives me the impression that I might one day fall over the side. This little mini Bimini is just fabulous. Most boats have one going all the way forward, and then you have the main sheet on the coach roof and the whole thing. You can't see the sky, you can't see the sails. I mean, you're in the shade all the time, which is great, but if you want to be in the shade, stay in England, for God's sake. This is great because when the sun is actually overhead and it is seriously hot, there's always a bit of shade under the Bimini. And on top of it, I've put a folding solar panel. It fits very nicely. It's 200 watts. That's the original one, 100 watts. Over there is the Starlink antenna. The best thing of all on the boat now is the hydrovane. I call him Hawkins after Jim Hawkins in Treasure Island because he's utterly reliable. I used to have an Aries, and I used to say that the Aries was the ultimate in self-steering vanes because it was so strong. The problem was that it was so strong that it actually broke my rudder stock, and steering gear doesn't really need to use that kind of force. This one has a semi-balanced rudder, and the huge advantage is that as long as the boat has enough wind to move through the water, this will steer it. Whereas with an Aries, you have to have the boat moving through the water fast enough to move the servo paddle and then to move the ropes through the sheaves, and I think there are 3 on each side, and there's just too much resistance. It needs too much power. This I found is fantastic. Attached to it over there is the new Watton-Sea hydro generator. Little propeller on the top drops down into the water. As the boat goes forward, the propeller goes round, makes electricity. Because we do need a lot of electricity. As you can see over on the, we got on the guardrails, these little fellas. Most people put a special tubular stainless steel guardrail up. But these are just threaded onto the top rail, the top wire. You do need these Teflon pieces, the little white pieces up here. That's Teflon, and it stops the stainless steel wire eating through the aluminium frame. And then all you need are these strings at the bottom, one to hold it up, one to hold it down. They do move a tiny bit, but not very much. Works very well. And then when we're in harbour or at anchor or whatever, we have another 500 watts up on which you can put on deck. Okay, now the reason we need so much solar and the wind generator and all that kind of stuff is because we use a lot of electricity. Come and see. We have 600 amp hours of lithium batteries that have to be charged. And there they are down there. On that side behind them is some of the paraphernalia that goes with it to manage it all. As your display, we're down to 31%, not great. The big panel isn't even connected. Needs to wiggle the connectors. Anyway, the reason for all that is partly the toaster. Wonderful having a toaster on board. I've even got an electric coffee grinder. And the main thing, of course, is the electric hob. I don't have gas anymore. Gas took two huge gas cylinders, 7.5 kilos each. They took up all the room in the lazarette. Wherever you went, there was an awful problem finding someone with the right connections to fill them up again. So I have this. And the only trouble I have with it is when we start getting low on electricity. And when that happens, I take it off the cooker and put it on this fella. This is a little camping alcohol stove. And it's terribly simple, terribly efficient, and slightly frightening. Because in that little reservoir, you put liquid alcohol. You then balance it on top of your gimbal stove and hope you haven't spilled any when you filled it up. Because if you have spilled any, the whole thing goes up in flames. First time I tried it, that's what happened. Hugo was very disparaging about it and suggested I shouldn't try again, but I did. And the second time I tried it, it also went up in flames. By this time he was talking about breaking out the fire extinguishers, and I said that would make an awful mess, and he said not as much mess as burning down the boat. Anyway, we've now learned to use it. Always have a fire blanket on hand, and when there's no electricity, here it is. I wouldn't use it at sea, mind you. I think that might be asking for real trouble. So there you have it. Up to date again. Oh, 2 fridges. Nearly didn't mention the 2 fridges. My niece is a cook on a super yacht. Oyster 885 it is. That's nearly 90 feet long. And she's got 5 fridges and 2 freezers. And she said, but you need at least 2 fridges. And I said, why would I need 2 fridges? She said, well, one is the salad fridge. Of course, you need a salad fridge. The salad fridge is where the food goes. The beer fridge, obviously, is where the beer goes. If you haven't got enough electricity, you just put the beer in the salad fridge. One of them runs at 12 degrees, the other one at 2 or 4, depending on how cold it is. And it's revolutionized my life. 2 fridges is the answer. But you need some electricity. So there you go. You're up to date, and next time Hugo comes, we'll do another one. Until then, don't forget the blog, oldmansailing.com. Bye.